there, friends. I'm just trying to set the camera up properly. There we go. It is working. Hey there, friends. Good morning. How are you doing? It is 5:30 a.m. and I am about to get started. Just need to take off the wedding band there. 5:32 a.m. actually. I had 6 hours and 58 minutes of sleep according to my watch, or 7 hours and 20 minutes of sleep, but 6 hours and 58 minutes of real sleep. So I should be doing okay-ish for this workout and for today. What about you? Are you just waking up? Are you already halfway through your day? Are you ending your day? Let me know in the comments when you drop by and say hi. Let me just set up the timer here, and then we are going to get started with some mobility and some core today. So for those of you watching, my name's Toby. I am 40 years old, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life now. The way I do that is I try to mind my sleep. I try to get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep every day. I mind what I eat, but we're going to talk a bit about how terrible the last 7 days have been. And I think that has something to do with this combination of cold and shorter, darker days, and maybe even a bit of stress at work, which, if you're here often enough, is a recurring theme that sometimes stress levels go up and down, and then in the aftermath of that there is some more eating than usual. And let's see, there we go. I think that is a bit better. Yeah. And then there is sleep, nutrition, strength training, conditioning training, and mobility training, which is what we're going to do today with some core stuck onto the end of it, usually Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And we're going to, and I try to spend time with people I love and care about, do things that I enjoy, and generally try to live a stress-free life if possible. This is about the way I feel, not about the way I look. I try to feel fit and competent and capable for what life is going to throw at me. But that is my general health goal. My long-term goal is to have as many healthy years as possible as I age. So I would like to be able to be fit, competent, and capable when I'm 80. And if I get to be 90, I would like to be fit, competent, and capable when I'm 90. And that's what we're working towards here, step by step, day by day, live stream by live stream. Any fitness goal or health goal, I think, is very valid and very personal, whether it's weight maintenance, weight loss, weight gain, strength building, body shaping, endurance training, training for a specific event, powerlifting meet or marathon, or even just in general if you're into martial arts and trying to get fitter and healthier. Those are all valid fitness and health goals. So whatever works for you. For me right now, it's about living long and making the most of life, not only today, because there are a lot of demands and responsibilities I have in life, but also for the future. I always like to say that we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So if you're interested, go check out my channel. And I am going to talk about, I am going to start the timer. And we are going to get started with today's mobility routine. And what a day it is. So, like I said in the introduction, it has been a wonderful week. It's been cloudy, rainy, miserable, and slightly cold. I don't know about you. Breathing, by the way. Just expanding the stomach cavity. Like a little balloon. I'm going to do some mobility of the neck. And because of those dreary, dark, and somewhat colder days, first of all, it's harder to stay cheery and to keep the mood up. Working on the neck, looking left. No, we're going to look right. And then we're going to look left. And right. So what happens is I start to snack more despite all of my best efforts. It just happens. It's also the holiday season, their birthdays. So there are all kinds of snacks being brought out. Bought, put on the table, and generally it's not really an issue, but we've been over this with the licorice at work, which I am still avoiding, but my friend, it's just too easy to overeat when you're eating these kinds of foods, and that works so counter to my health goals. So finding a way to maintain sanity, still enjoy the season, and not feel bad and guilty about eating things, while at the same time, working towards my health goals consistently, because I can sleep as well as I want. I can train and move as much as I want. That's 2/3 of the equation. So we would still need to do some more hip mobility this morning, by the way. I would still need to learn and look at what's going on with my my snacking behavior, because otherwise, from January, I have packed on weight, whereas my goal is to stay the same and build more lean muscle mass over time. Not in a rush, but just do want to keep that goal in mind. I think 15% body fat is what I'm striving for. I'm like right under 20 at the moment. And that's just because I believe that having a bit of a buffer in terms of how much weight I can put on before I go into a zone that begins to be detrimental for my health is it is better to be a bit closer to the lower bound than to the upper bound, which I've understood for men, 15 to 20% is about where that is. So that's what's driving that, not a desire to be thin or skinny or to see a six-pack, but simply it's one of those health markers for me that at around 15% I would probably be good, functioning, comfortable. And just in case I would stop working out because of an injury or whatnot, there would be a little bit of leeway for me, some wiggle room in life. So that's one of the reasons why this stacking business just needs to be brought under control. And don't get me wrong, there's no harm in having a snack. I eat Oreos. I eat honey in my yogurt. I eat chocolate. I have a little bit of chocolate every day. 85-90% pure chocolate mixed into my yogurt together with that honey. I have crisps. I will have hamburgers. So it's not a matter of denying myself. I think what the issue here is, once again, and again, we can say that this is just a common theme in life, perhaps. But one of the issues here is that the daily intake, so reaching out into the cabinet and having these snacks every day is what the issue is, the behavior. Because unknowingly, right, already with 3 full meals, I hit my maintenance level of calories for my energy balance, not very hard. It's like 500 in the morning, 700 for lunch, 700 for dinner, maybe even 800 for dinner. So you have your 2,000, 2,200 calories already in there. No issue. So there's no need for more that many more calories. And if I would want to be eating those more calories, which I also am, we come to the challenge of week 4, which is, well, aren't we trying to add 10 to 20 grams of protein to the routine? The answer is yes, we are. And because of that, we also need to add more calories to the day quite naturally. So there's already an excess of calories being added through snacks twice a day, right? And that's completely fine, as long as we understand that then having that additional pack of candy, whether it's these little wine gums or those 2 extra chocolate chip cookies or whatnot, that's all just going to interfere with the balance that we are seeking. To create so those are my reflections on one thing in my diet. It's a trend I've noticed since it started to get dark and cold, and just something worth saying out loud. And then also worth to do something about, whatever that something is going to be. So it is Thursday morning and another week gone. Next week, December, will be here, friends. It's the last month of this year. So, in my experience, this is usually the month where people are like, oh yeah, didn't I have New Year's resolutions last year? And then they realize that they just gave up and forgot about them. And they forgot that the only way to get anything done would have been by showing up and doing the work like we have been doing every day. Isn't that right, friends? So, you just remember that when it comes to 2025, you go take a look at my channel and see how many days I've been here and been reporting back on what I've been doing as exercising and workouts. But also, you can see that I've been showing up every day and doing the work. So if you want to know better how I did that, what I learned this year and what maybe you can learn from my journey, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and we can continue this conversation, whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you want to get fit and healthy. Well, there might be something in it for you, but I will let you decide, because I can't decide for you what healthy and fit and capable and competent for life means in your circumstances, but I do know what it means for mine, and I can tell you that what I've been doing has made a big difference to me as a person in trying to stay fit and healthier and preparing for all of the things that life has to offer. So, there we are, friends. Work on hip mobility. That is important. That is a big part of the reason to want to keep doing this. And just keep going through the different exercises. And slowly but surely, you'll notice that your mobility over time will improve. The way you move, the way you stand, the way you lift, the way you carry yourself through life. The only thing is that it needs to become a weekly routine before you can actually start getting all the benefits from it over a longer period of time. So I'll tell you a little story. See, from the beginning of the year, I've had issues around my shoulders and with my neck. On the right hand side, had suffered from this neck herniation. And on the left hand side, for whatever reason, we had some stiffness in my shoulder, which would act up specifically when trying to do exercises like shoulder presses. So, with a physiotherapist for about a year, we've been working on my shoulders, first the right hand side, making sure that recovered properly, and then the left hand side, trying to figure out why this range of motion was limited and what was going on there. And we checked if there was something structural, if there was some sort of an infection, or if it was just the muscles that needed to learn to work because they hadn't been used for 15 years. Guess what? Right? Wasn't anything structural. Might have been a slight irritation that healed itself over time, because that tends to happen with minor injuries like that. But what definitely needed to happen was that those muscles in my shoulder and back needed to learn how to work, how to be activated properly, so that I could do overhead work. And I walked around with discomfort and pain for 3 or 4 months, but we kept trying different things. Kept doing the exercises every day. Again, after the live stream, I still do those exercises to activate my back and those muscles that work my shoulder, my arm, overhead properly. And the result now is that I'm able to press 16 kilos overhead with a kettlebell. But more importantly, I have a better range of motion in my shoulders, and the pain that haunted me for months is completely gone. So, the point of the story is that if you are this is a bit harder than I expected. If you are going to, maybe I need to hold on to the wall a little bit. If you are going to work on your body regularly and with purpose, you might see some significant improvements over time, simply because of the way you start to use your body. However, for some of us, most of us probably, if we are very honest, this is a core exercise, by the way. If we are very honest, we have not been using our body as it was intended to be used for years. And so fixing all of that abuse is going to take some time and effort, because we need to right a lot of things that have gone wrong in the way we use our body, which muscles have and have not been used, and how we have learned to use them over time. So as important as anything else, it's a reminder to ourselves that when we embark on a health and fitness journey, where we're trying to train for strength and conditioning, is to be as mindful of where we are today as of what we've been doing for the last 10 years, and then about what we want to be doing for the next 10 years. And you build a solid foundation of movement and health and fitness, and you'll see what you're capable of throughout life. But you do need to use it or lose it. And believe me, friends, it's so much easier to just sit on the couch and sit on the chair and sit in the car and do nothing than it is to spend 30 minutes of your day doing something. Because what you're not going to see, by the way, and I think this is one of the biggest challenges we have with health and fitness and content that is out there today. What you are not going to see is a six-pack overnight, or in 2 weeks, or 4 weeks. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen. What you are going to notice is that there's going to be a bit of a spring in your step, that you're going to be able to do things you thought you couldn't do, like run up a flight of stairs and not having to catch your breath at the top, or go on a long hike and actually not come home tired and sore from the effort. So you think about that as you plan 2025, and as the idea of New Year's resolutions come up. You know, I'm just saying that showing up every day for 20 to 30 minutes and doing something by the end of the year is going to pay off in ways that you can't imagine, and definitely not the ways all the fads and influencers who want to sell you nonsense would like you to believe. So there, just keep that in mind, friends. All right? And with that, we are done for today. If you've been watching, thanks for dropping by, saying hi, watching, and listening to me talk about my health and fitness and my plans. Here's the glass of water, one of those 4 habits that we're using to understand better how to make changes 2025. So, friends, my name is Toby, I'm 40 years old, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. Not only now, but also as I get older. I mind my sleep, I mind what I eat, strength training, mobility training, conditioning training. And if that's something you're interested in, you can go ahead and subscribe to my channel and we can continue this conversation together as we go through life. Remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. Subscribe and you'll see that I'll be here tomorrow. And I look forward to catching up with you then. Take care, friends.